When you realize that you have been cheated on by your wife, it is like being hit by a truck. This is the natural thing that when someone finds his wife cheating, he's unable to accept this undeniable situation. He doesn't even know how to handle such uncertain incident and wondering what to do next. There are a number of things to consider. Here I am with my life experience. My story will surely shock you and you will definitely get some guts to act bravery and fearlessly in this kind of situation. My name is Zach Harley, who belongs to Chicago, but living in Washington these days. I'm currently working as a CEO of reputed mobile application company of the town. My wife named Jasmine worked as a home tutor of literacy at a rich family of our area. There's no doubt that Jasmine used to be really young, pretty beautiful and independent. But we both were really different. And unlike Jasmine, we're actually my aunt's daughter. We both got married just on the interest of our parents forcefully. Unlike Sai's life, we're totally dissimilar. Like she usually remains to stay quiet and serious. But I prefer gossips and having some good sense of humor. But I tried my best and never let these differences allowed to act as a hurdle between us. There were 5 members in our house. Me, my mom, Jasmine and a 4-year son and my young brother. I remember my first night where I did not know anything and I was really demented because I had never considered her as my wife before. But she was totally normal. I extended my hand towards her and then gave her an expensive necklace and drink. She probably liked the gift as she gave me smile back after some while she said me clearly that she's not going to leave her job at any cost as she wanted to carry out her personal expenses. Her visionary and mature thoughts were really impressive for me. I praised her and then we slept. Time flew and soon we got a baby boy named Jamie. During this time, my mother also got serious lung cancer. I wanted my wife to stay at home in order to take care of my mother and our young baby. But she never listened to me. Instead, she appointed a male servant, Harry. Jasmine. Lack of interest and attention towards our home was really annoying and irritating. I always tried to make her understand that even the happiest and healthiest marriages require a certain amount of efforts to stay forever. But she never listened, to be honest. Her attitude was kind of good. At the very beginning of our marriage, she used to exhibit some care and compassion. She was even sensitive to our family, police need and does her efforts to provide a solution. He used to understand when her husband is frustrated and tried to make me happy. But after the birth of our baby, her attitude was really bizarre. I even asked her mother to do her counseling, but she never listened, her mother even. She was becoming toxic day by day. I must say my son was really deprived of his mother care and affection as Jasmine used to be staying outside most of the time since she joined the new home tuition. Although home tutor doesn't require full-day occupation, I had the feeling from the very beginning that my wife had been distant from me, my family, my baby and our marriage. I never objected to her absent-mindedness as our marriage was arranged by elders who said it was a match in heaven. Honestly, it was far from that, we spoke only as a means of necessity. I never preferred her and she never preferred me. I tried to keep peace in the house and hesitated arguments and quarrels most of the time. Soon our servant Harry left the home to excessive workload. So I hired a young housekeeper named Sana. Sana was really an obedient and responsible girl. I always noticed her in putting her time of fit and energy to make our house thoroughly spotless. She really worked obediently with a great passion. My son got highly attached with her in a very short time. One night, I was desperately waiting for my wife in our bedroom. When she reached out bedroom, she plugged in the charger to her phone and then she slept on the sofa. I asked her to come here, but she did not consider me next day. I was extremely disappointed in my office. My wife's first behavior was continuously popping up in my mind and ruining my mental peace. Meanwhile, one of my sincere coworker reached out and asked reason of my anxiety. I simply shared the whole matter with him. And then he replied, "Don't worry, man. It's just a normal thing and story of every married couple. I must advise your marriage needs constant work from both sides. Furthermore, take the situation easy, and it is really no matter how hard you or your spouse try. There will be good and bad days and some long period of critical time in every relationship. There will be days when you hate your wife, and then there will be days when you will feel immense love for her." He saluted and then left on my way back to home. I bought some red roses and chocolate to settle her mood and make her happy. When she reached at home, I gave her chocolates and races. She smiled and then I gave her a flying kiss. She was in a good mood. So it was the best time to ask reason for her meaningless arrogance. I was about to ask. But during the same interval, her phone began to ring. She said, "Excuse me, it's Olivia's call, who is my college friend from Canada." And then gone. I waited for about 5 to 6 hours and then finally slept when I opened my eyes. After 5 to 6 hours, she was not next to me on the bed. I stood up and then went outside of our bedroom in order to find her. But I found her nowhere. It was really a cringy thing. I called her but she was not picking the call. She reached next morning in the house at 9 a.m. of morning. When I angrily asked her, "Where were you last night?" she kept quiet. I can feel her confused face expressions. She cunningly replied to me that the friend whom I was talking last night asked me to see her mother who is admitted in a hospital. When I asked my wife, "Let's go and see your friend's mother together," she began to sweat and said that her friend's mother has been discharged from hospital. She further said that I'm tired and then she has gone on the same evening when I had reached the home. She was still sleeping. I took her with me outside for dinner. And I asked my housekeeper Sana to go with us. But my wife did not allow her to go. She was continuously judging me for my humbleness with Sana. I was totally out of her such bad thoughts about me and was making her calm down. When we reached the cafe, I was about to order food. Meanwhile, I received a call from our housekeeper, Sana. My wife's eyes caught on my phone and she began to criticize me again. I replied her, "Calm down, Sui, Sana never called me before. So there must be an emergency on receiving her call. I came to know that my mother is in a critical situation." I immediately moved back towards my house and took my mother to hospital. I asked my wife to go back to home and stay with our son. "Me and Senna will be here with mother," she said in a sarcastic way. "Lucky man. You got a chance to stay with her for all night. Good luck, bye." I was totally amazed on her. Instead of consoling me for my mother, she was judging me. I said so Nana to go back to home. But Sona said that she's only familiar with my mother's medicine and routine. I remember that night, my wife did not even give me a single text. She must shit out ask about my mother's condition even. She already knew that I was highly mentally depressed that time for my mother's state. But my wife is continuously breaking my heart. Well, by the grace of God, my mother soon got discharged from the hospital, but I could not even forget my wife's behavior over the whole scenario. Next day, I planned to do work from home. I took my laptop, which is normally used. Battery of my laptop was all dead. I looked for a charger but I could not get it. So I decided to use my wife's laptop. I did not know the passcode of her laptop. But then I entered some passwords randomly and succeeded. I logged in my business panel and began to do my office work. After some time, I took a short break and asked Sana to bring a strong coffee with pancake. I then went into iPhone to see snapshots from a while back. Then I came across a few snapshots of my wife that she took of herself in an inappropriate injury. I was literally amazed as I had not ever saw her, this kind of naked pictures. Even one of them was totally naked and had been marked that it had been emailed. My curiosity was piqued. She absolutely could not have accidentally clicked email and shared her this kind of picture as it was successfully emailed. I tried to find out the person to whom she has shared her naked pictures, but all in vain. I did not know how to react or what to do. I decided to ask all this from my wife. I remembered, my mind was spinning and heard those pictures were on my nerves. I caught severe headache. I asked Sana to massage my head. She was massaging my head. And then at the same time, my wife reached, she began to shout badly and screaming. Everyone at our home assembled at our bedroom. She said, "I knew you and Sana are in a relationship." She showed us her bulging eyes and asked how many times you people do sex in a day. My younger brother also began to judge me. Even my own mother blamed me. My wife held hands of Sana and got her out of our home. Sana began to cry and then left the house. I did not know what to do. Everyone at home was judging me and considering me as a carpet in this worst situation. I did not even ask Jasmine about her laptop activities. I did not know why my wife was doing this. All our relationship was just so rough physically and emotionally after everything happened. I realized there must be something she's not exposing. She's absolutely the guilt. Who is creating all this dramatic scenes as she herself wanted to leave me and want me to consider myself guilty for the rest of my life? To be honest, I was tired of my basic domestic curls and my vice lake of interest. Even my son was highly disturbed. He was now school-going, but he did not even know about the initiative, phonics and rhymes. I decided to take a wise decision. My mother and brother was judging me continuously. That days was literally worse for me. There was no one talking with me. Even at that time, a strange thought came in my mind that why my own mother loves her niece more than me. Even her niece never took care of. My mother almost 1 week passed and me and my wife did not talk on a single thing. Although my mother and brother was now normal with me. My mother was still getting ill day by day as was the one who used to take care of her. So my mother decided to call her back. Even my wife does not agree with her decision. Sana refused to come here again and apologized. She further said me that, "Sir, I haven't ever exposed the hidden secret, but today I must expose it in order to save your family further." I asked her in a curiosity, "What is that secret?" She said, "Jasmine a bad lady," and then she left. Her phrase was really thought pro-working. I decided to consider Anna's concern. Well, I then hired another beautiful girl, but obviously she was not familiar with my mother. Like Sana, my mother was now totally on bed dressed. I decided chasing my wife and noticing her activities. Once we both were laying on the bed, I tried to kiss her but she refused and said that she's not in the mood right now. I started understanding the things. I then pretended to be asleep just like a rubber. She looked at me and thought that I must be sleeping. She then stepped towards washroom. Gradually I chased her. She was on a call and saying to someone in a romantic version, "Paves, can you please wait till tomorrow?" Then she gave him a kiss. She was about to come outside of the washroom. I suddenly got the same sleeping position. Her words were still popping up in my mind. I decided to hack her phone because situation was exactly at the work. I wanted to know every details but I did not know her mobile phone password. On the next morning when we both woke up, she was preparing herself to the bed wearing good dress and mist when I asked her, "Should I drop you?" She denied and said, "No, I will manage." Moreover, she further said that she will reach home late today as her students will be having finals. I followed her. She entered the same house where she used to take tuition. I asked from the nearby people about her home tuition point. They said that this is a blow of rich businessman who is divorced and lives with his disabled daughter. I was really shocked to know that she used to teach just one student and took so much time. I wanted to have some information of that rich businessman from his bodyguards, but obviously they did not respond. I went back to home instead of office and began to search how to hack mobile, etc. But I did not get anything productive. I asked one of my talented person from my office. IT department. He first wondered and then tell me a smart way of opening someone's phone. As usual. That night, she reached the home late and did not allow me to touch her. She took a cold shower and went to bed. I could feel her tiredness. I was extremely waiting for her to sleep. Finally, she slept and I took her mobile. But that night, my smart trick did not work as it was really technical and complex. Next day, I tried and tricked several times on my another phone and succeeded. I was now all ready to hack her phone all night. When she slept, I succeeded in getting her phone opened. I moved towards social apps and call logs. My feet froze and I stuck after reading erotic chat with the same businessman where she used to go teaching. I got highly shocked after seeing nude pictures that she used to share from that chat. It was crystal clear that she was physically active with him since many years. She even got one abortion as well. I was in a complex state after knowing this all. That businessman even supported her financially as her account was filled with pretty much money. I did not know what to do at that time. Thought of my young kid was continuously peering in my mind. I really wanted to murder her at that time, but I took a long breath and took a wise decision. That night was indeed a nightmare. Next morning when everyone was about to reach a dining table for breakfast, I said, "My wife, shame on you, bitch." She said, "What's wrong? What the hell are you saying?" I showed her everything I took as an evidence. She began to sweat and was denying what that evidences were enough to make her confess what she did. I warned her that if she would not confess what she did at front of everyone at the breakfast table, then I will definitely bring the whole evidence to liar and you will not be able to get your son custody as you will be declared as an irresponsible guardian. She began to cry and beg not to expose. I asked her, "Why did you cheat me? Bitch? I did whatever I could do for you." She then apologized and said, "Sorry, I opted the wrong track. Please forgive me." I ignored her and went to breakfast table. I was really not sure whether she will confess her mistake. Whether or not finally she came and stepped gradually towards breakfast table. She finally confessed what she did and began to apologize to anyone. My mother was all in shock. Ian began to cry. My brother also said, "Disgusting. You did something unexpected." My mother and brother was embarrassed on what they did to me. I decided to divorce her. Ian was begging not to leave. I showed every evidence to the court and she declared as an irresponsible guardian and did not get the custody of our son. Now I got married to Sana and we are living happy life. That rich businessman has cut off every relationship with my ex-wife as he got the new girlfriend who is more young and pretty. Now my ex-wife is working as a teacher in an ordinary school of the town and lives in a hostel. She must miss her house. That was indeed like the bunch of flowers according to wedding toast, love songs and various religious texts. Marriage is supposed to last forever. But in my case, it was the opposite. I might give her a chance. But once a cheater is always the cheater, the way she showed her attitude towards the home was really unacceptable.